If you want to scale to 7 figures, but you're struggling, you're stuck at revenue plateaus, procrastination, resistance, self-sabotage, I am certain that this is the number one thing you're probably ignoring. And there's 2 steps to this process. And if you implement this correctly, I promise you your business life will never be easier. So the first step is you need crystal clear clarity on your highest leverage task at all times. This is absolutely vital. Whether you have it in your calendar scheduled in or whether you have it written down somewhere obvious, I want you to know what this is the first thing when you wake up, the last thing before you go to bed, when you're drunk, when you're hungover, when you're at the nightclub, wherever you are. I want you to always be aware of this task. I want it tattooed on you because this is so important. Obviously, doing the highest leverage things is vital for your business. But having that constant awareness opens up a load of opportunities within your mindset. And that's what I want to talk about today. Because step 2 is about realizing that you're probably playing business on hard mode because you're just ignoring all this emotional resistance rather than just flipping it around and making it work for you. What most entrepreneurs try and do is just ignore it or act like it doesn't exist or just hope that it just goes away on its own. And if you want a sustainable, easy, effortless business and unlimited scale, then that's just not going to work because these fears will not go away on their own. You may be able to ignore them for a week or a month or a year, but at 3 a.m. or when you're drunk or when you're burnt out, these things will come back with a vengeance. So what you want to do is you want to have your highest leverage task in your awareness at all times. Let's say it's delegating task XYZ, right? And then I want you to monitor your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, your impulses around this. And this is only possible if it's crystal clear, because otherwise your mind will distract you and it will be too subconscious for you to realize. This has to be super intentional. One thing I love to say to my clients is that your most dangerous distraction is not Instagram reels or going to the strip club. Your most dangerous distraction is your 4th or 5th highest leverage task, whether it's building a new funnel you don't need or building a new SOP for a VA, which is very helpful and it's important and it's going to help you scale, but it's not your highest leverage task. The more emotional awareness, control, and understanding that you have will bring incredible benefits to your business. There's neuroscience here I can show you as well, but it's just obvious. If you have better emotional control, you're going to have less burnout, better decision making, better team management, better sales, better negotiation, literally better everything. It's an absolute no-brainer to do this. And this is one of the biggest insights I had that really made me start this business, to be honest, that of course, your highest leverage task is your highest leverage task. But if you have resistance, if you have procrastination, if you have self-sabotage regarding that task, maybe you're making content and you don't want to be seen and you're insecure or you think you're not good enough, getting rid of that resistance now becomes your highest leverage task. It's meta highest leverage. And therefore, this is what I do. This is what I teach. And this is why it makes such a big difference. So here's some neuroscience I found. I mean, there's hundreds of articles about this. Here's one from Frontiers. It says here, differentiation of frustration from exhaustion acts like a buffer against burnout. One of the biggest problems entrepreneurs face is burnout. And all this is just differentiating frustration from exhaustion, right? This precise emotional granularity can be so simple and make such a big difference. Then you have here, University of Texas, Dallas. Knowing the exact emotion in the moment as a core layer of executive self-awareness is the factor most predictive of leadership effectiveness. Just knowing the exact emotion in the moment. And that's what I want to encourage you to do today. Now, the other vital thing to understand is that when you solve these problems, this resistance, this procrastination, not only does it disappear, and if you do it correctly, does it disappear permanently, but you can realign it so it starts working for you, so it makes your life even easier. And I want to lay out an example here. So let's just stick with this delegation one. Let's say you have a fear of delegation. And so you can go into some gentle exploration with yourself here or with a coach. Why are you scared of delegation? Well, I don't want the person to mess up my business. It's like, well, that makes sense. Fair enough. But could you tell me more? I'm interested. Like, what do you mean by mess up your business? And the person or yourself may reply, well, my family depends on this business. I can't risk it on some random VA. And now do you see how this little bit of investigation on your emotional resistance brings us so much more nuance and so much opportunity for things we can do here? Because fear of delegation is, you can't do much. It's almost binary. It's like, that's there, let me just ignore it and keep going. But you see this makes sense. And now look, it's not the most sophisticated thought process, but it's your real thought process. And we can do so much here. So for example, it gives us the information that you have this fear that your VA will mess up your family's livelihood. I would never, ever risk my family's livelihood for a VA. So it makes sense. But that's not the full picture of the situation. So it gives us this one opportunity to adjust the strategy so it's more effective and also get rid of the resistance to doing your highest leverage task. So you become way more efficient and you can actually scale up. So now we know this, we can just put limits on what the VA is able and unable to do to minimize the risk to you, your business, and your family. And then that's a way better business strategy anyway. And then if this was the only cause of your fear of delegation, which it realistically probably wasn't, there's maybe 2 to 20 different fears you have around delegation. But let's say you repeat this process 3 to 10 times. Now you have a better delegation strategy and you have no fear of delegation. So you're actually going to delegate. Do you see the difference? They're like, you need to understand, explore, and just solve your emotional resistance to your highest leverage tasks. And it's going to get complex. This is a very oversimplified example. Some things may go back to childhood. Some things may be two different parts of yourself fighting. Some things may be beliefs you took on. But when you understand that you can take all these pieces of resistance and align them towards your goal instead of fighting against you, you can become basically all powerful and your business will grow like nothing before and scaling will become effortless and inevitable.